Morning, guys. Morning. I am having a wonderful morning. I hope you're having an awesome morning. Holy cow. I read one of my favorite books of the year this year. I mean, it really blew me away, and I wasn't expecting it to be as good. I've been craving a good fantasy romance. I have been craving it in my gut and in my soul, and all of these books kept falling short, and all of these books kept making me want just a little bit more. And then one came in and it did it. It hit all the hype. Oh my God. What book is it? If you have been watching my vlogs this week, I kept saying, I'm going to read this book. And it is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I have not felt this way about a fantasy romance probably since the first time I read Fourth Wing Through, which was last year. It is really good. It is a slow burn. Do not jump into this book expecting there to be romance right away. In fact, there's really not a lot in the first book. It is, I think, set to be a 3-book series. But what is Powerless about? So in Powerless, you have a kind of caste system among humans, like in a lot of books. It's very Red Queen or a little Hunger Games, a little ACOTAR-esque. And you have elites who have powers of some kind, and you have mundanes who have like lesser powers, and then you have ordinaries, and ordinaries have absolutely no power to them. And the king actually has said that ordinaries are diseased and dangerous, and they need to all be killed. Enter Miss her last name's Gray. Peyton. Oh my gosh. I kept wanting to say Sadie, and I don't know why. I knew it wasn't right. Enter Miss Peyton Gray. And she is an ordinary, but she's a very talented fighter, and she lives in the slums in what they call, I believe it's called the loot or the lift or something like that. It's the area of the slums. And she, through happenstance, is basically orphaned, and she has a best friend who there is a novella coming out about at the end of this month, and I will be reading it the day it comes out. And she has this friend that she lives with, and they basically lie, cheat, and steal on the streets to try to stay alive. That is how they stay alive. And she steals from the wrong person. She steals from Prince Kai. Prince Kai is the second son of the current king, the one who is killing all of the ordinaries. And he is the soon-to-be enforcer for his older brother. The enforcer basically is like the fighter, the right hand, the man who stands in for him, enforces all of his laws and rules. And he has an older brother named Kit, who is going to be king when their father passes. Now, she steals from Kai, and she gets away with it at first, but then Kai is attacked by a silencer. Silencers have the power to silence any powers, basically. And he's dying. Like, he is laying in the street dying. And Hayden saves him. For whatever reason, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think she knew who he was when she saved him. So Hayden saves him, and the kingdom finds out about it. Of course, there's a crowd of people watching this happen. And because she saves him, she gets added into the trials as like the last competitor. And who else is in the trials? Like Kai, of course, is in the trials, the enforcer. In fact, the whole reason really for this year's trials is to showcase Kai's talent and make him look really good as the next enforcer of the next king. And there's lots of banter and flirting and all of these things as they compete in these trials. There are some significant deaths, so check any trigger warnings that there might be. Nothing worse than like a Hunger Games type death. There's not a lot of gore, blood, or anything like that. But there's some ones that'll get you right there, maybe. I don't know. Depends on how much you like the characters. But yeah, it is essentially a book about a trials, and then there's rebellion, there's caste system. All of those check marks a strong female heroine who is powerless but uses her noggin to basically outsmart these people because they can't know that she's an ordinary or else she's dead. So she has to convince these people that she's a psychic and that she can see things and tell things, but she's using context clues in order to do this. It's so very, very good. I loved this book. I ate it up. It's a pretty decent sized book, and I still read it in about 2 days. Just really, truly wowed me in the best way. It was the best fantasy romance that I've read so far this year. I did really, love Dance with Thieves, but this one was just a little bit better for me. I don't know. There was something about this one. The narration, if you do it, I ended up doing this one on Audible. That's what I spent my monthly credit on. Do it on Audible if you can. It has dual narration. So the female voice and the male voice. I love dual narration. I think the first book that I really listened to that had dual narration was Butcher and Blackbird. And I loved that book. But this one has the dual narration. And it's top tier. So that is how I read this one. Powerless was on Audible. I just loved this book. I can't preach about it enough. It hit all of those marks that I have been needing to be hit that were kind of falling short with some others. As you guys know, a lot of fantasy and romance has been not quite hitting all of the notches for me here lately. Lots of 3 and 4 stars on fantasies this year, and I don't know why, but I was just searching for something, it felt like. And boy, it felt like this hit exactly what I was searching for. It almost has me back in my fantasy mode where I just want to binge all the fantasy novels I have off of that shelf there. I've got Realm Breaker to read by Victoria Aveyard. Love her Red Queen series. I've got Hurricane Wars over there. I've got the new Jennifer Armentrout over there. And I haven't read them because I've been in a fantasy romance funk. I've been reading a lot of rom-coms. You guys know that. So I think that this book, Powerless, is going to be enough to get me over my little hump that I've been in with fantasy romance. I'm definitely reading Powerful when it comes out April 30th because it's going to be amazing. And it is it Adina? I think it's Adina. She calls her A lot. It's basically Peyton, the girl who she lives on the street with, her story while Peyton is in the trials. And I'm sure it's got to be told because they're going to be reunited in the second book and they need to catch everybody up with what is going on. So we've got the novella coming out on April 30th, and then the second book in this series called Reckless will be out this summer. And I am counting down the days, you guys. I love the series. Super good. Really just hit all of my marks and ticks for a fantasy romance. And I think if you like fantasy romance, you would really, really enjoy this book as well. I've seen so many good things about it on TikTok and YouTube, but I've been burned by that before. I'm telling you right now, I have been burned by it. This was not it for me. It was 5-star plus. Give Powerless a read or a listen. You will not be disappointed. With that, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for caring about what I have to say about books and liking, subscribing, sharing the videos. It really, really makes my day. And I get to keep doing this for you guys because I feel like people care and people watch and people want my opinion. So thanks so much and have an awesome, awesome rest of your week. I will see you guys later. Bye.